Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 4 of the F123 Ollie Bearman Career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here in Azerbaijan for the Baku City GP. Of course, if you missed out on the videos that went live last weekend from Formula 2's first ever time to Albert Park, Australia, I would highly recommend going back and checking them out. But of course, yeah, Azerbaijan was kind of a big weekend for Ollie Bearman. Of course, the first time and only time ever that a driver has claimed maximum points in the current Formula 2 configuration there. It was a brilliant weekend. It was really sort of where he stamped his authority and made a name for himself in FIA Formula 2. So I'm hoping today we probably won't be able to match that, but hopefully we can get as close to it as possible. But P5 in the Drivers' Championship, and let's get into one-shot quali. Here we are then, qualifying day for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. If you never watched Ollie Bearman's real pole lap here in Baku, would highly recommend going and checking it out. It was absolutely mental. Slapped the wall and then had to pretty much run down the entire start-finish straight with some steering damage there. It was, yeah, a ridiculous lap, all things considered. But yeah, just obviously, you know, Baku is all about just trying to make sure that you get the car slowed down, confidence on the brakes, and then nice and easy on the throttle there. Really want to eliminate wheel spin as best as possible. So it does play hand in hand with these FIA Formula 2 cars. But will we be able to get the lap hooked up? Nice run through turn 1. But it's all about just avoiding any kind of locking as you upset. Really, yeah, you actually upset the rears quite a lot. There's Hauger getting a nice run out of turn 2. But just trying to hang close to the AI early on in the lap. It's not quite going to be the pole lap heroics that we saw back in Albert Park, but as we navigate our way through the final chicane, hopefully we can keep it tidy there, avoid the wall on the exit. That was very, very close out of the final corner. Picked up a little bit of damage earlier on in the lap, but hopefully we're not going to be lining up right at the back of the field. Shortest run to the line. Looks like Hauger is going to take the pole here. But yeah, we're last. Just didn't quite have the one lap pace then, all things considered. And with such tight margins between the front and back of the field, we have paid the price.
Wind down from the excitement of qualifying. Here's a look at your top 3. Hauger, Awasa and Jan Daruvula. Goodbye for now then, but we really are just getting started. Make sure you join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Well, Dennis Hauger then, I believe that might be his very first Formula 2 pole position of this series, but we were less than a second away, and yet we were still 3/10 behind anyone else there. Your usual culprits towards the back, your Boschungs and your Roy Nassanis, as well as your Stanex there. But he's going to be Richard Verschoor, who's going to start this first sprint race then from pole position. However, looks like there could be some changeable conditions. Let's get into it though. I think we got an 11 lap, might be 12 lap sprint race first up.
Baku never fails to disappoint fans of Formula 2, so hold on tight. The cars are set on the grid and any moment we'll be starting today's race. Welcome to Azerbaijan. It's 3.7 miles around each lap at the Baku City circuit with 7 rights and 13 lefts, giving us a total of 20 corners. Keep an eye out for the safety car today. This circuit already has a reputation for incidents, and it's only going to be worse in these conditions, particularly through the incredibly narrow turn 8. I'm joined by a man who's had many a wet race, Davide Valsecchi. Just how challenging will these conditions be out there on track?
Delighted to be here, Alex. Even in this weather, nothing will be easy for them. We may have standing water, which means visibility will be a worry. They just need to stay clear of the white lines and curbs. That can cause you a real problem when it's so slippery.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Well, rain has certainly arrived then for the Saturday sprint race, but it looks like it could dry out before this is done and dusted. And if, you know, by some miracle we don't get a wet race tomorrow, that really opens up the strategy as well then in terms of the bigger picture. So Baku was about to get scary. 11 laps, changeable conditions. Will we see a switch to the dry compound tyres? We need to keep it clean and tidy in towards turn 1. 5 red lights. And it is going to be lights out and away we go. First time trying to launch these cars in the wets, and there's a lot of cars that have gone slowly down on the outside there. I think that was Roy Nassani trying to cut across my nose, but we had too much of a run to really try and back out of that one. So instantly up into P16 then. Might be able to make it P15 as we'll have a look down the inside of Amri Cordial as well down at turn 2. So 7 places gained then off the start of this race. Absolutely what we love to see there is Arthur Leclerc. Old habits die hard there. Almost bins it in front of me down in towards turn 3. Can we make another one up? Yes, we can then. So we are flying through off the start of this race. Helped, of course, by, I believe it was Correa, who was on the outside before turn 1, who just didn't go anywhere off of the line. But yeah, trying to manage the wheel spin, like we said, is going to be critical today, even more so in these slippery conditions. Let's have a look what the weather's doing.
Rain looks like it's going to be getting much lighter over the next 10 to 15 minutes. There should be more grip, but don't expect a dry track yet.
Okay, so Mark's suggesting, of course, that the track might dry out quite soon there as well. Victor Martins. Oh, we had the run, but I did not want to go side by side with the ART car through the castle. Could have been quite scary on lap 1, but still just trying to modulate the throttle as best as possible. Scary stuff early on. Well, it is Richard Vishaw then who will lead the way at the end of lap 1, but a 2-minute 15 lap time seems absolutely ridiculous. But of course this is, you know, just how much time you lose in the wet and around one of Formula 1's longest tracks. Oh, come on. Keep it dialed in. Getting too much wheel spin early on, I need to modulate more. Well, I would assume, generally, this would probably actually be intermediate conditions in a Formula 1 race. But for those of you that don't know, you don't actually get inters in FIA Formula 2, so we've got to be even more careful at this stage of the afternoon. We're losing still a little bit to Victor Martins in front. But yeah, really just trying to get the car dialed in. As you can see, this race has already turned into 2 separate groups. Going to be about a 2-minute 14 to 15 second lap. Where am I going? Oh, don't spin, don't spin. Great. Great, we've been collected. Safety car's out. And we've got a 5-second penalty for a collision with Kush Miney. Oh, we got a red flag. That's annoying, actually. That means I can't serve the penalty there. We'll take a look what happened to Kush, though. So as we head back down then into turn 1, riding on board with Kush Miney, you can just see there, we're still actually spinning the car. Yeah, that angle's not great. It does look like I'd pretty much come straight back onto the road in front of him, but when we were locking the rears so badly, it kind of just where it spat us, but Kush has paid the ultimate price in the process. Well, this is looking quite nervous then as we get ready to restart. I mean, like we saw, nothing we could really do in that incident. But it looks like we're even closer now to the dry period. So we're going to be on to that fresh set of the wets. We have got that 5-second penalty to try and deal with, but 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go. Can we get another good start down in towards turn 1? Look like Martin's trying to make moves. Almost contact again with Nassani as someone's gone straight on down at turn 1. Who's that? Who's still Lewis Hamilton? Richard Vishaw from pole as well. Richard Vishaw is out of the sprint race here, and I don't think I've ever seen a mechanical failure at turn 1, whether it's a race start or a restart. But that is heartbreaking for the, I believe he's Van Amersfoort driver, isn't he, Richard Vishaw? We're up to P12 though, so again, whoa, we're able to capitalise, but again, the AI, they're concertinaing up off the restarts. Is something to behold. I think, to be honest, with the way this car's going around at the moment, if this track does dry up, and it already looks like the rain's getting lighter, I will not be against going on to a set of the dry compounded tyres, because we are really struggling for the balance in the wet. In terms of the tyres, we would be requiring a set of the super softs, because of course that means we get a nice simple one-stop strategy as well tomorrow. The strategy on F123 for these Formula 2 cars is still very, very broken. Hopefully we are going to see a patch quite soon. But yeah, we just haven't got the pace in the wet. Ow! We're going to get collected again through turn 1. This time around, Isaac Hadjar had to pick up some damage, and I'm not sure exactly what I can do there, because we've kind of understeered out wide, and the AI's kind of put me in the wall again. Hadjar, though, is definitely going to be struggling, so we need to try and get back past him ASAP. And we have a look down the inside in towards the next corner. Yes, we can. Easy does it on the brakes. So easy to lock the rears. But we're back through. Well, Jack Doohan, times are definitely improving there. Down to a 2:10. How far away from that are we going to be? We're going to do a 2:12. So still losing 2 seconds.
7.5 seconds.
Oh, we still are missing our braking point down at turn 1. Feel like I can get most of the lap hooked up, but struggling for turn 1. Oh, we got yellows out somewhere. Oh, as we nudge the wall. I think that's the other Campos. I think that's Boschong, who might have gone for a spin. What's happened to Ralph? It's all kicking off here in Baku today, but what do you expect in the rain? So Ralph Boschong then, as we start lap 7, tucked up behind the Dams car of, I believe, Arthur Leclerc. And what is he going to do then as we make his way through in towards the middle sector here? All looks fairly calm at the moment. He's got one of the Red Bull back cars just behind him. I believe that might be Isaac Hadjar. As we make our way through. Oh, it just gets a little bit too leery on the throttle there. Has to put the throttle down so he doesn't back it into the wall. And then he's almost going to Austin Powers himself here as he tries to get back on the road. He's going to lose some of his front wing in the process. But yeah, Ralph Boschong is going to need a new front wing, and he's all but out of it. Well, I would love to try and get back into the top 8 on the road. Of course, we've still got that penalty that we never quite know where we're going to end up with that, sadly. But here, we've got Hauger and Ruvala having a bit of a battle at the moment. So, of course, tomorrow's pole sitter just trying to move past his teammate is down the inside of Amri Cordeal. Another driver, with a penalty is Ruvala slowing down. Got more yellows out, though. Someone else has got issues further behind. So it is all chaotic here at the moment. Not too sure who's grinding to a halt, or if anyone is. But we're now up inside the top 10 then. Roy Nassani out of the race. But I loved a safety car, but it doesn't look like we're going to get one. Roy Nassani in his PHM racing car then as we make our way out of turn 2. Are we just going to see that engine go bang? Up into 6th gear he goes. Yep, it's just cut out on him. And you can see a big plume of smoke in the background as well as he tries to stay out of the way of some of the other cars there. But yet another casualty this afternoon. It really has been quite a chaotic race up to this point. But Roy Nassani is another driver who is out of the sprint. Try and get a run, though, out of the castle on Zane Maloney. It's so frustrating still. Just like with the F1 cars, the F2 cars actually have grip on parts of the track that I don't, unfortunately. So they can, yeah, you can see there, afford to run 2 wheels over the white line. I can't. Otherwise, we basically instantly lock the rears. So just trying to hang close to Zane Maloney as best as possible. 3 laps to go of this sprint race here. And it is all still to play for. See how on edge you've got to be. Can we get a nice run through the final chicane though? Getting very, very close to that wall, but it will pay dividends. It's going to be gaining on Zane Maloney down the front straight. Jay Ruvala's already 3 seconds back, so I've got no idea what's happened to him. But yeah, can we get close enough to the Barbados kid? No, I can't. Come on. More yellows out. Another one's gone. Too late for a safety car. Now Correa's out of the race. Bearman Career then. On lap 9 we go. You can see just heading back down in towards turn 3. Certainly been at sight of a fair share of action today, and this time round he's just going to get too early on the loud pedal and never give up on it, apparently, and has just completely taken himself out of the race in a rather embarrassing fashion, I must say. It's a bit of a shame, to be honest. I can't help but feel that changeable conditions here could have been just the ticket we needed to try and get back towards the points. I mean, we've not done badly. Daruvula is still losing bags of time behind me as we set a new personal best for the day. Maybe if we can just steal away that fastest lap bonus point off a tailport chair, but we need back another second. Purple through the middle sector, but we always seem to be flying through there. And a bit of a moment again as we make our way out the final couple of turns. Looks like tyres starting to struggle as well. But yeah, surely we're not going to see anyone box onto the final lap of the race. Everyone, yeah, is just going to be trying to go to the end. So even then, actually, your tyre wear here has been awful. Because obviously we got a free stop, didn't we? Under the red flag there. So tyre wear in these conditions has been dreadful today. We set a 2:09.7 though, which is 6 tenths away from the time Ralph Boschong's set. We need to try and sweat this if we want to try and take it on this final lap. But yeah, this final lap has certainly not been one of my good ones in this race. Just a little bit too scrappy around. But had this been the feature race, it would have been a solitary point, and a well-earned one at that, I would go as far to say. As we make our way through the final couple of corners, a little bit all over the show. I think the 5-second penalty, though, luckily isn't going to have much difference there. Jack Doohan going to walk away with his first victory of the season there. 80% tyre wear, though. This is going to be very, very difficult if we've got more wet conditions tomorrow. But it's P10 from the back of the grid.
And Virtuosi have pulled off a great victory here today. Davide, what do you think made the difference here?
The difference was in the strategy. Credit to the driver for sure, but races like this really drive home how much of a team sport this is. They did a lot of work on the pit wall to really make the most of each stint and to make the best use of these tires. But that said, all of that would have been for nothing without a talented hand on the wheel.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Virtuosi then are on top today. And now, let's take a look at the driver's stand. Brad Benavides takes the lead at the Drivers' Championship. And so, driver of the day then, Davide Valsecchi, who do you think you'd go for?
I'll probably go for Jack Doohan. The team did a good job with the strategy to put him in the pack, and he was good enough to take the opportunities.
On to the teams then. Meanwhile, Carlin moved up the table with another strong performance this weekend. After all this drama, you would be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Well, there we are then, the end of the Formula 2 sprint race here from Baku, and quite a crazy one, all things considered there. But it is Jack Doohan, obviously after Richard Verschoor's engine failure, who will claim the top prize there and a bonus point as well for the fastest lap. Yeah, it looks like the track conditions were continuing to improve right to the very end. But that means championship-wise, it is Brad Benavides now 1 point clear at the top of the table, ahead of Amaury Cordeel. Martin still in P3 ahead of Verschoor, who, yeah, probably would have been in the lead had his engine failure not occurred there. Teo Porcher still directly behind myself, beating out Fittipaldi, Novalak, Daruvula, and Jack Crawford there. Fred Vesti as well. First big points of the year for him, and his first podium as well. You'd love to see it there, still just behind Jack Doohan, who leapfrogs his way all the way up into P15. And constructors-wise, well, we're still in P6 there. Looks like we're locked into a battle with MP Motorsport, but fingers crossed as well in the main event tomorrow. We can try and have a bit of a better race there. It's certainly tricky conditions here in Baku. We have got our work cut out. Thank you all so much for watching, and yeah, make sure you're back tomorrow ready for for the feature race. You guys do not want to miss that. A massive thank you to all of my YouTube members and my Patreon supporters for their continued donations to help my work. These things go much further than I think a lot of you ever realise and allow me to continue making content full-time here on YouTube. So if you want to support me from as little as £1 a month and be featured on all of these end clips, either click the join button next to the subscribe or head over to my Patreon. There's a link down in the description.